Dear President Herzog, dear friends from Israel, welcome to Albania in this first and historical official visit. Albania considers Israel and the relations with the Jewish people part of its history of a small, proud country that wrote a beautiful page in the history of the world by being the European country that had more Jews after the Second World War than before. And we are very proud that our grandfathers and grandmothers, being Muslim or Christians, trespassing all religious and different other types of limits and prejudices, shielded the Jews, and no Jew was delivered to the Nazis. Albania became a place where, differently from other countries, Jews were not flying out but were flying in to find friendship, shelter, and protection. It's a bond of history that we have always and will always be eager to strengthen. And on the other hand, we have been, we are, and we will always be very firm against every shape or form of anti-Semitism, as well as any expression of intolerance and prejudice against Jews. Of course, we are very much aware that what is going on in the territories where the people of Israel and the people of Palestine live is absolutely very heavy and is absolutely something that should end sooner more than later. And on the other hand, we are very much aware of the fact that it's much easier said than done, and that fighting and winning against terror is much more difficult than it may seem from distance. But on the other hand, Albania has been also very much supporting the ceasefire and every possible effort to bring the hostages back home and to start a new process for the good of all the people. On the other hand, I am very, very keen to underline also that while the times are very difficult for Israel and its people and for all the people living in that part of the world, the future will be for sure a future of stronger and safer Israel, and by no doubt a much more peaceful and forward-looking region. In the meantime, we are here with open arms to welcome all Israeli people that want to come, being tourists, being entrepreneurs, being artists, being writers, being people of high tech, or being elderly people that would love to have their home here in the middle of Europe by two seas, surrounded by many rivers, in a nature where you find everything within a very small space of a tiny country like Albania. Economic cooperation between the two countries has an immense potential for rapid development. The trends are there, they are very encouraging, but of course it goes without saying that we can do much more. I'm at the end very, very happy to finally have the President here as our guest, not only as the President of Israel, but also as a very dear old friend that I had the privilege to get to know long ago when he was in the trenches of daily politics in Israel. And it's really absolutely a treat to have the chance to sit with him, to listen to him, and to learn from him. A very distinguished, wise man, and also a man of experience that has in his heart the friendship with Albania and with the Albanian people. And I'm sure that after this visit we'll be even more motivated to push for strengthening more this very important relation. Thank you, Mr. President, again. So much. Thank you, my dear friend, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, my dear friend, Prime Minister Edi Rama, my friend Edi, for so many years. It is an honor and a pleasure for me to be here in Albania as the first Israeli president to pay an official visit since the establishment of diplomatic relations between our countries. I want to thank you firstly for this warm welcome. I must say that it is especially meaningful to me to be amongst friends at this very painful time for Israel, as we near the one-year mark since Hamas terrorists brutally attacked Israel. 1 year since thousands of terrorists invaded our country, savagely murdered and wounded thousands, and kidnapped hundreds of Israelis and foreign nationals into Gaza. Ever since that dark day in October, Albania has placed itself firmly on the right side of history. Dear Prime Minister, your country has shown again and again that you stand with the people of Israel, and as we fight to defend our people and our borders and our civilization, and especially fight for the dream of bringing peace between us and the Palestinians, with the hope that all nations in the region live in peace. Our work is not over. Still today, hostages are being held, as you mentioned, in cruel bondage in Gaza, in gross violation of every humanitarian and ethical norm. And the entire international community must do everything in its power to bring them home, all of them. Unfortunately, we are fighting more than one terrorist enemy simultaneously. The trail of blood linking all of the agents of hate is Iran and its cruel anti-Semitic fixation with the destruction of the State of Israel, and you in Albania know all too well about this radical regime. But our relations do not begin or end there. The Albanian and Jewish peoples, as you mentioned correctly, share a long and meaningful history. Jews from across Europe found refuge in Albania during the Holocaust, which is a testament to the deeply rooted ethical traditions of Albanians of every faith and the incredible spirit of the Albanian people. and we have a great deal to learn from one another in the present. I am very pleased to be here, exploring new ways to deepen our ties in all spheres of life, with an increasing substantially our connectivity on all spheres of life, especially on the economic field, and I'm joined by a very senior Israeli economic delegation on this trip, which says a lot about what we can accomplish together. I'm so happy we had the opportunity to discuss all of this in person in our fruitful discussions today, also with your president and especially with you. You, Edi, are a dear friend, a great friend, and the nation of Israel will never forget how you and the nation of Albania stood up with us in these difficult times. So allow me to end my words in Albanian, and I excuse myself if it's not fully according to the right brogue. Falendroj popullin shqiptar për mesin e vadueshme ndër vita. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I just want to add a part of our two speeches. One very special thank to you for having brought here with you the mother of a hostage, Alon, to whom I had the privilege to dedicate a book of my art, and I'll pray for him.
Thank you.
To get back and to get also to see my book, which hopefully will be a good omen. And by saying that, I want to send a very brotherly message to all the parents of the hostages. On one hand, expressing the most heartfelt condolences to all of them who lost their kids, who lost their loved ones in this horrendous moment in time, and on the other hand, to wish to all the others to hug their kids and to hug their loved ones as soon as possible. And I can't agree more with every Israeli citizen and every Jewish in the world when it comes to the need for the world to understand that the horrors we are witnessing, and also the so many unnecessary victims of this war, where so many innocents are losing their life because of the need to eradicate this devil from the underneath of the earth, did not start from nothing, but started from a horror that nobody around today's world has ever imagined that could be seen in our lifetime out of a movie or of the fantasies of them who produce movies. These images of that day, that very dark day, not just for Israel, but for all the world, were images that no one should forget. And everyone, when speaking about the way through, should start from those images. Otherwise, history may repeat itself, and this would be then not the sin of Israel, but this will be the sin of all humanity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.